Hey, this is Ransom1690 back here with a different video. This isn't going to be an antinatalist related video this time. I'm gonna kind of take a break, just kind of mix it up and show y'all something different with this video. So, y'all haven't seen inside of my room, aka studio, in a while. Man, that soda's good. But I think I'm gonna show y'all a bit of what I've been working on. And yeah, so y'all gonna see a bit of that. Keep in mind, a lot of them is still, I guess you can say, in the ugly phases of it. Because, I don't know, I tend to like to start a lot of projects and stuff. And that's something I've been kind of working on, just finishing what I start. So you may see some of the anatomy may look a bit janky. Some of the limbs may not be drawn on yet. And just maybe some corrections need to be made. I'm gonna point that out when I show some of them. And yeah, so without further ado, y'all gonna see what I've been working on. So I have it all laid out on my bed here. Hold up. Let me see if I can get some better light. There we go. Yeah, let me keep the top light on, too. So, yeah, as y'all see, a lot of them, like, again, not finished. Yeah, but they're a whole lot more closer to being done in comparison to all the other studies that I'm doing. And now all of them are all from reference photos. And they do make good studying material. Just studying anatomy and all that type of stuff. So yeah, I'm gonna try to zoom in on some of these and maybe talk about what I like or dislike about it. And I don't know, this is my first time really discussing my drawings like this. So let's see how I do. So this one is a study that I was working on, just a photograph of this girl, I guess standing on what looks to be like a roadway or something. It's actually from this obscure Japanese movie that I hadn't watched. I just found the photo off of Pinterest. And I'm like, I want to try to draw this. And, this was also my first time kind of practicing perspective a bit. And so, yeah, just a 1 point perspective. Of course, it ain't finished. Now, one of the things I don't like about this is the way that face is looking, because in the photo, like, the face is more human, like, closer to what you would picture a human face to look in profile view. But I don't know what it is when I try to draw faces in profile view, but I always seem to make them look more Neanderthal like and just real fucking, I don't know. So that's the only thing I don't like about this one is that face, and I'm gonna try to go back and change it, finish the limbs, or, try to get this feet to look right on her. And, finish the background a bit and then shade it. Now, I'm not going to do the final work on this piece of paper because, this is just computer paper. And I guess to extend the range of what I have to work with, I'll tape two pieces of computer paper together. And yeah, it's really convenient and a whole lot more cheaper than trying to draw. I'm sorry, buy the cheap newsprint paper, because I think they cost like $20 at Hobby Lobby. So I just, tape computer paper together, and there you go. And then I can transfer it onto better grade paper when I'm ready. So yeah, the things I don't like about this one is perhaps the same thing that I don't like about this one. Now, the face looks a little bit better. Ugh. I know that fucking right knee is kind of looking janky. I don't know about the perspective on his body in relation to the rest of his lower limbs, but I don't know. It's supposed to be a drawing of this boy sitting, I guess, in this extravagant park, but I think I aged his face up a bit too much. I mean, in my opinion, it looks a whole lot better than this, but yeah. I just suck at drawing faces in profile view, or if they're just kind of hidden. I don't know. I just really need more work on that. And his anatomy kind of looks funny again, but that's why it's called the ugly phases. Just normally when I start drawing, my whole intent is just to get something down on a piece of paper, so I try not to think too much, because in the past, I would try to make everything right from the get-go and just focus on every bit, like small, tiny detail. And I think they say you're not supposed to do that. A whole lot of professional artists say not to do that. They encourage you to just be loose. And what they say to try to find the gesture of the image rather than the details. So that's kind of the approach I started taking with it. And so, yeah, but that anatomy still kind of, looks But, that's just something more I need to work on. Now, this one, is supposed to be a cosplayer of Link. Of course, the hands ain't drawn in yet, but I don't know what to really say about that one. I know his sword isn't really that big, but that's literally like how big it looks in the picture. And, yeah. But I kind of like it, I think his arms could use a bit more work, but yeah, I don't really think I have a lot of complaints. Oh, I need to fix that ocarina, get it to look more like an actual ocarina and stuff. But yeah, again, this is the ugly phase, the ugly stage of it. And so it's just, I've really been trying not to be too critical of my line work, at least starting out. Actually, I don't know. Like, I think the fucking left side of this, like, that needs, I don't know, I might redraw it. I don't know about that anatomy now that I'm thinking about it. It kind of doesn't look proportionate in relation to his face. So, I mean, this is the kind of stuff you need to be critical of. And, I know if my mom probably saw this, she'd say, oh, it looked good. And it's like, no. You have to be critical of this kind of stuff, especially if you want to be a serious artist, because, a lot of artists who really know their anatomy and know how stuff looks, how a body looks, they're going to notice this kind of stuff. And, and a lot of them aren't going to be really too nice about it. So it's better, I think, if you be a bit hard on yourself versus if you just think, oh, everything you made is the greatest thing in the world, and then someone comes around and gives you a reality check And yeah, that's gonna suck. So I don't know. I mean, I liked it back when I first did it, because I actually started this one like sometime around last year. And usually when you look at it the first time, yeah, it looks good until you put it down and you come back for like a day or two later or maybe a week later, and then you notice all the mistakes. And that's just one of the shitty things about having the a human body. Just your brain, it kind of just doesn't process things right sometimes. But what do y'all think? I mean, I may kind of post this one up on my community feed, and y'all can probably compare the anatomy. But yeah, do y'all think I should start this over or just follow through with it? Just honest question. And y'all can leave me a comment down in the comment section and let me know. Now, this one, yeah. So, let's talk about this one real quick. So, this is, I guess, a cosplay of this boy who's supposed to be dressed as a fawn. But, so I like, for the most part, everything about it. I like kind of, like how his shoulders look. More like, I know the abs, or I guess the lower portion of the torso looks a bit funny turned that way, but that is how it looks in the reference. So in my opinion, the anatomy for his torso and his arms, for the most part, looks right, but his face is terribly wrong. Like, I just went and unintentionally stylized his face. And this was back, I think I started this, like, again, I started this maybe about a year or two ago, and decided to just try to finish it because I'm like, hey, it's not too bad, but I just couldn't get over that creepy ass face. Ugh. And then another thing is his legs. So here is one thing I've learned. When you draw a specific part of the human body a certain way, like if you draw the head too wide or too narrow, then that's going to affect how everything else looks. So his legs are not that beefy on the actual anatomy, but it's like if you, let's say, if you stylize, well, you can't just continue to follow the reference verbatim, because if you have his head too fat, but then the rest of his limbs look skinny as shit, then it's just gonna look wrong. It's not going to look very appealing. So it's like I didn't intend to stylize this, but again, sometimes my brain just works on its own. Like if if the face is off, then I'm gonna just on instinct draw the rest of the limbs to match what the head is looking like, the anatomy of the head. Now again, I like the rest of what's going on down here. I just, even though it's not verbatim what the reference is, it still looks uh pretty decent. At least I think the anatomy looks pretty decent, but just I couldn't get over that creepy ass face. Maybe this would have been acceptable if I was trying to, let's say, invent my own fantasy scene, but for a anatomy study, it just looks weird. uh, so I tried to do it again, and I wound up unintentionally stylizing the head again. I don't know why it is that way with this one, but you know, I want y'all to know I've gotten a lot better at drawing realistic type heads, but For some reason, I just can't do it with this. You know, I keep fucking making it look like this sort of, semi-anime type style. And this one, I am definitely gonna come back and work this one up some more because unlike this one, the anatomy looks a whole lot more shit. And yeah, and that's really getting graded. You just I don't like my stuff looking like shit. You know, I like, even if it is stylized, I like there to be logic to it. And this here, there just doesn't look to be logic in the rest of his, limbs and his torso or his knees. It looks fucking disconnected. And so this is the type of stuff that I'm constantly thinking about when I'm drawing. Like, does this make sense? And if I do make a mistake, then I've made it a habit to, if it's something that I can change, then I can change it. But if it's something that I want to follow through with it, then I can follow through with it. But I have to make sure that there is logic to it, at least when it comes to the anatomy. Now, obviously, you're not going to see a face like this in real life. It looks good as a stylization, but even then, there has to be logic in the anatomy. And just this